We've got an injury update on Rams star receiver Davante Adams. Will he play on Sunday? We've got Week 5 PFF grades, winners and losers, and what did Sean McVay say about facing old friend Cooper Kupp? That's coming up next on Locked On Rams.
You are Locked On Rams, your daily Los Angeles Rams podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Ramily, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Rams, your daily podcast covering your Los Angeles Rams. Free and available wherever you get your podcast. Locked On Rams, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 daily sports podcast network, your team every day. If you haven't yet, do us a huge favor. Subscribe to the Locked On Rams YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button for your Los Angeles Rams. My name is Doug McCain. Friends call me DMAC. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. I've covered LA sports for over a decade. 24/7 sports, Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, Dodgers Nation. I'm now working for the LA Sports Report, which is a LA-based super network for LA sports that's by Newsweek, and it's going to be exciting stuff. I did some shows over there already, and I'm going to be going to Rams games as a credentialed media member, and if you follow my work for Dodgers Nation, where I interview the players and I ask questions at the press conferences, that's going to be my gig over there. So you can find me over there as well, and exciting stuff. Also, do NFL Ready for Westwood 1, but today I'm flying solo. The People's Champ, Mr. Travis Rogers, he is out today. I'll be back tomorrow. But we've got a jam-packed show. We got winners and losers from the Rams' big win over the 49ers. PFF grades, some very interesting grades, some surprises. Of course, you know you got to take those with a grain of salt. Got an injury update on Devonte Adams. Will he play Sunday? And also, we'll talk some Cooper Kupp. But first, today's episode of Locked On Rams is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Today's episode is all about FanDuel, and right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Okay, so lots of Rams football to get into, so let's get right into it, and don't want to freak you out or anything, but Devonte Adams, he did leave the game on Sunday early after suffering an oblique injury in the second half. The good news is the Rams did have a really sizable lead at the time, but when you've got a veteran receiver north of 30, he's had some injuries, but it's been also durable too, you're always a little concerned. And Sean McVay did say that Devonte Adams could have got back in the game, likely if the score was a closer game, and he wasn't exactly sure how serious the injury was, but he did say yesterday on his show about Devonte Adams, quote, "I haven't had any updates yet. I know his mindset and mentality. He's going to do everything in his power to be ready to go. Haven't had a chance to get with Reggie and those guys, but I'll be surprised if our guy doesn't make it to next week. I know he was optimistic about it after the game, but we'll see how he's feeling." So he did say that he'll have more updates on him on Wednesday when he has his next press conference, but he doesn't sound too concerned about Tay's availability for Sunday. But he also wasn't completely non-committal. I mean, I think you look at McVay, I speak fluent Sean McVay. Hey, Tay's going to be out there. He's going to do what he needs to do to go out there and be a guy that's going to help us win a game. We're going to do that, and he's going to be great. And I think that Sean McVay, but also we know that even if he is out there, is he at 100%? What does that mean for the Rams offense? Do we see, of course, the 13 personnel that we've talked about all week with the additional tight ends and working guys in, Terrence Ferguson and Tyler Higbee and Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen, guys like that. And you're going up against Seattle. And Seattle is not going to be an easy task to defeat. They're a top defense. They're one of the best in the NFL. This is an absolute NFC West showdown, an NFC showdown, and an NFL shutdown. I mean, this is one of the biggest games of the year so far, And you need Davante Adams in the fold because he has 9 touchdowns. He leads the league with 9 tutties. He's on pace for 17 touchdowns for the season. That would be just one shy of his career high of 18. So I know he doesn't want to miss this game, and I don't think he will. But the point of this show is to keep you extremely informed, and we want you to be the most informed Rams fan in the land. So we got to give you all the updates that there is. Now, Sean McVay also had some interesting comments about Cooper Kupp, and this is going to be interesting because I said before the season, look, I hope Cooper Kupp has a really good year as long as it's not against the Rams. And Cooper Kupp, we know he's a Rams legend. Let's call that what it is. Cooper Kupp will never have to pay for another drink in L.A. if, of course, you go to a bar with there's Rams fans, there's some Raiders fans, some Niners fans, Cowboys fans, Packers fans, Chargers, I don't know. But the truth is there is going to be a video presentation, right? There'll be a little something that they'll play on the halo, and I'm sure that he'll get a standing ovation from Rams fans. They'll have a nice little moment before the game. I'm sure Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, Nine and Dime, and the whole gang will get together. But once the game starts, this is a crucial football game, and that's what's the most important thing. But Sean McVay did say on Monday, quote, about Cooper Kupp, there's a lot of love. I think this is about the Rams versus the Seahawks, but you don't deny and you're not naive to what this guy has meant to the franchise. His rookie year coincides with the first year that I was fortunate enough to get here. There are a lot of touch points. There's a lot of love. I think you definitely acknowledge that, but at the end of the day, you still do have a job and a responsibility to the collective. We're going to do the best we can and the best we can try to do to be able to slow Seattle down, whether that's offensively, defensively, or in the kicking game. He looked good yesterday. I saw he had 2 big catches. The one that he had a great run after the catch, and we'll see if we can prevent things like that from happening. So it's going to feel very weird. It's going to feel like you go to your high school reunion. You go to your high school reunion, 10-year, 20-year, whatever it is. You go to your high school reunion, and you show up with your wife, and then your high school girlfriend shows up, right? And then it's kind of like awkward a little bit, but at the same time, you're kind of both happy, right, for each other and things like that. So it might be a little awkward, but I can say with full confidence that this is not going to impact the game at all whatsoever from the Rams' end. This is a Rams team that is as hungry as ever, is as playing as good as they've been in years, and this is going to possibly be a revenge game for Cooper Kupp. He knows SoFi Stadium well. He's had a lot of success there, but the truth is he wasn't happy about his exit. Cooper Kupp did not like the way things ended there, and if you're going to just kind of want to go back to what he said, this is what Cooper Kupp said about his exit with the Rams. Quote, it's been difficult. In all honesty, it's been very difficult and frustrating, and there's been a lot of questions. It's a real tough situation. I've said I've always imagined that I'd finish my career there, but that's not what the plan was that God had for me and my family. And he also said, I'm sure they have their reasons for why they want to do things, whatever it is. Not a ton of clarity in that regard, but at the end of the day, I'm thankful to be able to walk away from that organization and be able to look back on all those memories, all those experiences, all those things that we were able to go through together and the relationships that we had with so many people there and look at it in a positive light and be very thankful for my time in Los Angeles. So he did also say that he was looking forward to facing the Rams twice a year. And that's what he said this offseason. He said, quote, yes, I am. I'm looking forward to it. That didn't play into the decision to come here, but it was a nice little thing on the side to be able to go against those guys. So much respect for the coaching staff, the way that they handle things down there, the players down there. I'm excited about it, though it's going to be a really cool thing when that time comes. It'll be just football at that point, but I am looking forward to it. Interesting stuff, because I think as the competitive Cooper Kupp is, he's looking forward to this matchup for obvious reasons. And, hey, like, if you're him, if you're the Rams, this is going to be the subplot. I mean, after the fact that these guys are the great teams of the NFL, the NFC, two of the best in their conferences, two of the best in the NFL, quite frankly, that is absolutely going to be the subplot there. And the truth is, it was a cost-saving move. It was a no-brainer move. This year so far, Cooper Kupp has 26 catches for 367 yards and 1 touchdown. And he's the number 2 receiver for them behind Jackson Smith and Jigba. So you do the math. Devonte Adams has 9 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp has 1 touchdown. There's no doubt about it. When you're going to have to pay him $30 million, that's not a guy that's worth that amount. And the NFL, what does it stand for? Not for long. And unfortunately, it can be a cold, cruel business at times. And Cooper Kupp learned that the hard way. But that doesn't mean he's not a Rams legend. That doesn't mean there won't be some nice moments between him and Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford and a lot of coaches, and we'll see how that plays out. But looking back now, if you had to grade everything that we've seen, it was an A, like an absolute A. That was an A decision to move off of Cooper Kupp when they did. An absolute A, no doubt about it. The right decision, a smart decision, one that some organizations might not have done. Because they didn't think they could replace him with someone better, or they didn't think they wanted to ruffle the feathers and things like that. Rams are a great organization, and they're not afraid to make tough decisions. They made one, and it's paid off so far. But coming up next, we've got Week 10 winners and losers and PFF grades from the Rams winner of the 49ers. Also, the Rams make a signing. What? That's coming up next on Locked On Rams. This episode of Locked On Rams is brought to you by Rippling. If you're a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's sad. Software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. By uniting your employees, teams, and departments in one system, Rippling removes the bottlenecks, busy work, and silos your software created. Everything from onboarding to payroll to IT access runs automatically and perfectly in sync. It's a seriously simple thing to use and gives companies one source of truth for their people data and everything they touch. Whether you want to run your entire HR, IT, and finance operations as one, or just fill the gaps in your software stack, Rippling can do it all. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. Learn more at rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. That's rippling.com/LockedOnNFL. Terms and conditions apply. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And we are off and running here on Locked On Rams. Thank you for making Locked On Rams your first listen every single weekday. Free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Locked On Rams, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to give a big shout out to those everyday listeners out there watching and listening to every single episode of Locked On Rams. Cannot thank you guys enough. If you're new to the channel, see a lot of new viewers, a lot of new listeners lately. Now's the time to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, join the Everyday Listeners Club. And you won't miss a thing about your Los Angeles Rams. All right, here in our second segment, we've got PFF grades to get into, some winners and losers. Start with the PFF grades, though. Look, I know, take it with a grain of salt. There's no doubt about it, but they're still fun to look at. They give you an idea of the performance of players for sure. And let's start on the positive side. The top 5 on offense. The highest graded player, and also, too, the Rams had 13 players with an offensive grade of 69.9. I mean, that's big time. I mean, that definitely is very impressive because you win your fourth straight game by 10 or more points. You're right there with the Seahawks at 7-2. And sometimes if you see flukiness in your win-loss record, it can be reflected in metrics like this. But so look at the top 5 on offense. Number 1, right guard Kevin Dotson, a 91.3 PFF grade. Number 2, Colby Parkinson, tight end, 89.7. Number 3, the MVP, Matthew Stafford, 87.6. Number 4, Coleman Shelton, 87.2. And then number 5, left guard Steve Avila, 86.5. So takeaways from that is Kevin Dotson is an absolute dog. He's a beast. A 90.5 run blocking grade. He allowed just one pressure, and that was a hurry. And then Parkinson, he caught 4 passes for 41 yards and a touchdown. He led the tight ends in a group that's been very active, very involved. And he's a guy that got the bust label slapped on him, and he's proven people wrong. And honestly, he's proven myself wrong. And I could not be happier to see that. Matthew Stafford, he had 2 big-time throws. He had 1 turnover-worthy play, that near interception towards the end of the first half. And he more than made up for it, obviously. Another fantastic MVP-like performance. And then Coleman Shelton, a guy that's had some ups and downs this season, his 3rd best run blocking grade on the team, 90.3. He gave just 1 pressure. And then Steve Avila, who's quietly kind of got back in there and solidified his role. And Sean McVay said he had to kind of earn that role back, and he was kind of playing with that a little bit. And he's been great. He's responded very well. And he's been awesome as a run blocker. He's been really good in pass pro. He's allowed 0 pressures in the win against the 49ers. Now, the bottom 5 on offense, we talked about this guy all year, some concerns. But right tackle Rob Havenstein, 72.4, not terrible. Blake Corum, 69.9. Terrence Ferguson, 62.4. Xavier Smith, 60.4. Wide receiver Konate Mumfield, 55.3. And even though those guys are in the bottom 5, they're all solid. I mean, you don't see anything terrible. And there are no guys that are costing the game or anything like that. Havenstein did give up 2 pressures. Both those end up being QB hits. He had a 74.9 run blocking grade. Blake Corum, he forced 4 missed tackles. He finished with 56 yards on 13 carries. Terrence Ferguson, he had 1 catch for 32 yards. He had a drop, and that lowered his grade because of that. And then Smith and Mumfield, they each had 1 target. Mumfield didn't have a catch, so nothing really too glaring there. I mean, really solid performance top to bottom. And then you look at the top 5 on defense. Number 1, Jalen McCullough, 91.1. Number 2, Quinn Lake, 81.3. Number 3, defensive lineman Tyler Davis, 81.2. Number 4, outside linebacker Byron Young, 69.4. And then 5, Cameron Kinchins, the safety, earned a 68.2 PFF grade. The highest grade, though, goes to Jalen McCullough. And he did play just 15 snaps. He had 2 tackles and 2 catches and 4 targets. So that one you kind of have to take with a grain of salt because it's extremely small sample there. Quinn Lake, he did give up 5 catches for 44 yards, had on 5 targets. But he was a monster as a tackler, 11 tackles. He led the team. Davis had 3 pressures in that batted down pass, and he was huge in the game sealing. I mean, the knockout blow interception late in the game when him and Brandon Fisk collapsed the pocket and forced that errant throw. And Byron Young, he led the team with 4 pressures. He didn't have any hits on Mac Jones, but 4 pressures for Byron Young. And then Kinchins, he recovered that fumble and had 3 tackles. He also did have a missed tackle there. And then the bottom 5 on defense, Emmanuel Forbes, 57.9. Kobe Turner, 55.1. Cornerback Darius Williams, 54. Defensive line Braden Fisk, 53. And safety Cameron Curl at 46.6. So Forbes, he did have his 2nd interception, his 2nd pick of the year. He did allow just 1 catch for 14 yards on 3 targets. So that one is a little bit of a surprising grade for sure. Turner and Fisk both had 2 pressures and a tackle. Didn't have great grades. Darius Williams, he only played 12 snaps. He gave 2 catches for 14 yards on 2 targets. Still working his way back. And then Cameron Curl, 7 tackles, had 1 missed tackle, allowed 4 catches, 40 yards on 4 targets. Other names, Devonte and Puka, they didn't have like all world games like we've seen them have, but Puka at 81.6, Devonte at 81.4, Kyron at 76.3, Verse 67.7, and Kobe Durant 61.2. And interesting to see Devonte and Puka almost got the same exact grade. They both had a touchdown. Adams had 77 yards on 6 catches. Puka, 5 catches for 64 yards. And I thought Kyron Williams was great. I really do. I mean, he had 73 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 2 catches, was confident, looked like he took it personally because of what happened in their Week 5 loss. And I just kind of like the tenacity that he played with. And then Jared Verse, he's another one. He made 1 tackle, had 2 pressures, didn't hit the quarterback. But the big kicker in all this, and this is why you got to take this with a grain of salt, and that's why the robots will never take over, AI will never take over, ChatGPT will never take over, because you got to account for the fact that Mac Jones and Kyle Shanahan, the game plan there was to get the ball out quick, and that is how you try to neutralize a dominant pass rush like Jared Verse. So that definitely is that. I mean, Durant, another guy, 5 catches on 6 targets, 54 yards and a touchdown. Wasn't overly impressed with that. But all in all, great win for the Rams. We'll throw out some grades on tomorrow's show. But coming up next, we got some grades, some winners and losers, and the Rams made a signing. What? That's coming up next on Locked On Rams.
Today's show is brought to you by our friends over there at Peloton. Look, folks, it's time to break through the busiest time of the year with a brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus that's powered by Peloton IQ. It's Peloton's most elevated technology and equipment yet that gives you real-time guidance, and it gives you endless ways to move, whether you want to work out by yourself or if you want to work out with your favorite instructor, like my personal favorite, Alex Toussaint. He always gets me fired up to tackle the day. And the thing I like about Peloton, it helps me achieve more in less times. They have features that help you plan, stay motivated, track your progress, and Peloton IQ also provides personalized workout plans and recommendations. That's something that I use right now during the busiest time of the year covering the NFL. They plan my workouts for me based on my mood, my vibe, and also my favorite instructors. So make sure you check it out and use it, because it also helps you correct your form in real time, and it maximizes your reps. It counts your reps so that you can do it smarter, safer, and more efficient. Let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
And welcome back to Locked On Rams. Thank you for making Locked On Rams your first listen every single weekday. Free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Locked On Rams, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Okay, here in our third segment, got some other stuff to get into. And the Rams made a signing, and it's at a position that you would not expect, because the signing is for a veteran tight end. Now, the Rams, their tight end group is stacked, and they've been productive. Tyler Higbee, Colby Parkinson, Davis Allen, and their second-round pick, Terrence Ferguson. They've all been active. They've all been contributors, but they add another guy to the group, and they've signed Nick Muse to their practice squad, and that fills up that open spot that was left after they had signed long snapper Jake McQuaid to the active roster. So they're just maximizing the roster spots. And Muse, still young. He's 26. He plays college ball at William & Mary. And he was also at South Carolina. And then he was taken by the Minnesota Vikings as a 7th-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Appeared in 16 games. He had 1 catch for 1 pass for 22 yards. And the Eagles, they ended up signing him to their practice squad in January. They gave him a ring. He got a ring, and he was waived before the roster cuts heading into the 2025 season. He's been with the Cardinals practice squad, and now he's with the Rams. So you're probably thinking to yourself, D-Mac, really? This is news? And yes, it is. My fear in life, wanting you guys to be the most informed Rams fan in all of the land, is my fear in life. When I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, it's you guys at the office in the break room, and someone comes up and they're like, hey, did you see we signed that veteran tight end? And you're like, what? I don't know idea. I'd never heard of that. I can't let that happen. So I have to tell you everything that goes on with this team. So that is that. Now, some more winners and losers. I think big winner offensive line. Because think about the trajectory of this season. The offensive line has gone from banged up a little bit to not great to now they're really hitting their stride. Kevin Dotson and Rob Havenstein, they were dealing with ankle injuries early on their season. Steve Avila was out for a while. And then now they're looking healthy and they're looking extremely productive. And Alaric Jackson, Steve Avila, holding it down the left side. And then Kyron, I mean, they're benefiting. Their running game is benefiting. I mean, Kyron had 73 yards on 14 rushes and 2 scores. Blake Corum, 56 yards on 13 carries. And you got these guys opening up lanes. And Matthew Stafford only got sacked once. So I love where this offensive line is trending right now. I really, really do. And I got to give some love to the winner, horns up for Colby Parkinson. And I know that I wasn't high on Colby Parkinson, the signing, but I think that this past Sunday was his I want to call it his coming out party, but it definitely was his best moment as a Ram. I mean, with the 13 personnel, he's benefiting from that. And you've got those 4 tight ends being active. But Parkinson, he was the guy. I mean, 4 catches on 5 targets, 41 yards, and a touchdown. He also really, really good as a blocker. So want to send some love for Colby Parkinson. He really, really, really stepped up in a big way, and he was really massive in this one. And as far as we know, Matthew Stafford's an MVP. You got to call him a winner for sure. 24 for 36, 280 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, sacked just once. He's on an absolute heater, 22 touchdowns without an interception. And I think that you need to see more buzz, more momentum, and more people showing love to Matthew Stafford nationally because he's certainly, I think, the front runner for the MVP. And if the Rams win this division and finish with a top 2 seed in the NFC, I think he wins that award. And I think that cements what I already thought was going to be a Hall of Fame case for Matthew Stafford. So that definitely is massive for sure. There's no doubt about that. And then I look at some of the losers, I guess, for this one. Cam Curl, he wasn't great. George Kittle had 9 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Luke Farrell had 1 catch for 18 yards. He scored a touchdown. And Curl, he was the guy that was primarily matched up against those tight ends. And I do think that Curl, as far as a guy that can stuff the run, definitely brings that. And coverage is where he tends to struggle. So wasn't the best game for him, but all in all, I mean, I do like what he brings to this team. There's no doubt about that, and I still feel really good about Cameron Curl. Nate Landman, I know, to me, Nate Landman's another winner. I mean, I think he gave some catches, and he's given up some touchdowns in coverage, but another peanut punch, and he did again, and he did it to Jennings, and that's 9 forced fumbles in the last 3 years. That leads the NFL. Like, there's a bar near SoFi Stadium that needs to have like an alcoholic drink called the Peanut Punch or something to celebrate him because he's just been an absolute revelation for this Rams team. I love Nate Landman. But that's going to do it for this episode of Locked On Rams. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit that like button for your Los Angeles Rams. And remember that this is now. The time is now to join the Everyday Listeners Club. The Seahawks, are you kidding me? Could not be more excited. It's electric. And the Rams are breaking out their new uniforms too, and I can't wait to see them. So this is a great time to be alive and a great time to be a Rams fan. That's all I got to say. But that's going to do it. And follow me, X and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Be back tomorrow. Travis Rogers, my man, will be back. We'll talk some more ball with him. And until next time, whose house? It's Locked On Rams House.